So today I went to the dentist's office and I had an appointment for 1:30. And I was at the gym. At 9 o'clock I received a phone call. At 9 o'clock I received a phone call from the dentist's office saying, at 9 o'clock I received a phone call while I was at the gym from the dentist's office saying we have a 10 o'clock appointment. Would you be able to come in? I told them no because I had my day planned out. And I had my day planned out where I come in at 1:30 and get the root canal. So around 9:16, I just got up from the machine and I went to the bathroom, and I wasn't sure whether I should or I shouldn't go to the dentist. But I felt this leading to call the dentist's office and ask them if the offer was still on the table. The offer was still on the table. We agreed to 10:15. I rushed home, took a shower, got ready. I wasn't sure whether the Lord wanted me to do this or not. But I said, you know what? It's a reason why they called. Let me go with it. And I had peace with that decision. I had peace. I get to the dentist's office and they pull me in, get started. Halfway, it's crazy. Halfway through the decision, halfway through the procedure, because it's a root canal and a surgery. So halfway through the procedure, she tells me that the nerve is still kind of good. They could put some medicine on it, and I can come back and they can decide whether or not I still need a root canal because it's still good. Or I could just go ahead and get the root canal. So she leaves me with the decision. I'm feeling anxiety over decision. And even before that, I was feeling anxiety about getting the needles, and I went to the bathroom. I got down on my knees and I prayed and I asked for peace, and peace came. Peace came. As I went back to the chair, peace came. So later in the procedure, she tells me this thing, I have a decision to make. I can proceed with the root canal, or I can proceed with the root canal, or I can just get the medicine over the tooth and they can crown it, and I can come back if I wake up with throbbing pain. But the nerve is still good. I don't have to proceed with the root canal. So I'm sitting there leaving with the decision. I don't know what to do. The smart decision, the easy choice, would be to get the medicine put over the tooth. It would be to get the medicine put over the tooth and to just go home and go about the rest of your day, enjoy running errands, and just be glad that you're off. Or sit there and get the root canal, which is going to be painful. You got to come back in 4 weeks to get a crown. You got to go drop off a prescription for antibiotics, yada, yada, yada. Every time I have a root canal back in the back or whatever, it's always an issue with the procedure. So I'm sitting there. I don't know how much time I got, but all I keep hearing, I'm like, what do you want me to do, Lord? What do you want me to do? You say, get the root canal. But at first, I hear something like, you need to go ahead and get the other one so you can get out of here and enjoy the rest of your day. We always dealing with two different voices, But I remember, and this is where that heart and mind comes into. You go with what you feel, but you also go with what you learned about God's character. And I remember telling a friend of mine the other day, the way that I make decisions when I got to make decisions quickly is by taking the hard route. The road to God is narrow, but the road to the world is wide. It's easy, it's spacious, it's an easy path. So I make the decision. I take the hard route, which is the root canal. They don't want to do it. That's why they gave me the two decisions. And I know they don't want to do it. I can easily see that they want to go about their business because, once again, it turned out to be problematic. I was in that chair for 4 hours, which means they were doing surgery, not just a root canal, but also oral surgery for 4 hours. And I chose the hard decision, but I had peace. Once again, I had peace. And I heard something say, don't be religious. You don't have to choose the root canal just because it's the harder route. Sometimes you can choose the easy route. But I didn't have peace with that decision, so I chose the decision of the root canal, even though it's what I did not want. It's something I didn't agree with. And we just learned today in Bible study, we just learned it's not real submission until you obey without understanding, without agreeing, and without liking it, and you still obey. That's true submission. We just learned that today. So I didn't understand why I couldn't choose the easy route. I didn't like it nor agree with it. It left me very little time, but here I am at church. I made it on time. I'm studying for Bible study in the morning, and I have no pain, no real pain. I'm just sleepy from all the Advil I took on my own, but I have no real pain. I'm comfortable with the decision. It was a very intense procedure, but I had very minimal pain, a lot of blood during the procedure. The lady was like, if you don't stop bleeding, I'm gonna have to, cap it, and we'll have to do it another day. I'm like, oh God, please, Lord. I'm just praying in the middle of the procedure. Please let it stop bleeding. Please let it stop bleeding. And she comes back from looking at another patient. She said, still bleeding. I'm like, oh, I guess it must be your will. But she continues to work on it, even though it's still bleeding, and she said she wouldn't. So then she says, 2 out of 3 of the roots. Now I got 1 tooth with 3 roots. It's supposed to have 2. But I got 1 tooth with 3 roots, and this is like the second or third time this is happening. On the x-ray, it looks like it's 2 roots, but it turns out to be 3. And she's like, 2 out of 3 of them have stopped bleeding. So she feels those, does the procedure on the root canal, does the surgery, does all the things. And then the third one stops bleeding. I'm just like, God, you so good, so good. And it's just all this to say, it's critical that we hone in on the skill of listening to God's voice. That is critical. From the gym, because if I had went to the doctor's appointment at 1:30, I wouldn't be at the church right now studying for Bible study in the morning. In fact, I probably wouldn't even made it to church. In fact, they probably wouldn't have been able to finish the procedure because the office closed early. And got to go to work the next day. It would be a whole fiasco if I had made the choice that I wanted to make and go at 1:30. Listening to God is critical. Following the leadings of the Holy Spirit is critical. Making the hard decision that you don't agree with, that you don't like, that you're not a fan of, that you don't understand, that don't make sense. These things are critical in these times, because it may not be something that saves the world, but he could just be looking out for his children and saying, I want what's best for you. I want what's best for you. Pay attention to what I'm telling you to do, because I'm trying to bless you. I'm trying to do something good for you. I'm not trying to harm you. I'm trying to do something good for you. I'm trying to bless you. I'm trying to help you. So listen to me. read the book, and I'm on page like 50 something. So read the book by Gordon T. Smith. It's not on Audible. I already looked. It's called The Voice of Jesus.